Hello and welcome to the first episode of a brand new season. It is the Super League Pom-cast. It is, of course, your host, Johnny Lou. And joining me, two very special guests. We've, of course, got our own Andy Lee here, but also we've got Mr. Six again himself, Bri. How are we?
Good, mate. Thank you for having us on as usual. Yeah, thanks for having me on. Good. Good to be here.
I know. Well, this has been a long time coming. We've been trying to organise this for about 2 weeks. We finally got the recording on the day of the season starting over in England. You boys are over in Leeds, and I believe you've just been having a very special interview.
Yeah, we were on BBC Leeds last night doing the Rugby League Hour with James Dayton. Smashing chat, wasn't it, by the way? It was lovely, really good. And yeah, we spoke about all the 5 West Yorkshire teams. So Bradford, Huddersfield, Leeds, Cass and Wakey.
Yeah. How does it feel being Lancastrian, speaking about that?
Yeah, I'm used to it. I've lived over here for 14 years now, so I'm on that. And I got a visa, so I was all right. Yeah. So.
That's perfect. You got your day pass.
Oh, no. You want me day pass? Yeah.
Oh, of course, because you're going the season opener.
That's what we're here for today. Been working on a couple of days in York, and then ended up with this radio interview that we had a day in Leeds, which is where we are now, and then we're travelling over to York this afternoon. And we'll explore York this afternoon and then we'll go to the game.
One of the brand new teams, and it's amazing what happens when you win the league and you ask for an easy fixture, isn't it?
Yeah, I heard local Titans tried that. That's true. But then everyone wanted to play that.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it could have been worse for us. York could have been going to Huddersfield tonight, good we so.
Well, exactly, mate. I mean, at least York will have a bit of an atmosphere. I believe they've sold quite well for this game, haven't they?
Last I saw, there was less than 400 tickets left.
That's an amazing. They've got a real chance, York, to really create a dynasty there. I think it's got the community. I think it's a bit of a. We've slept on York a little bit for the past few decades.
Yeah. I remember going to matches years ago at the old, I think it was Wigginton Road, I think it was called. Oh, Kick-Ass Stadium. In a little stream at the back of the ground, I remember. Yeah, I think that was the Kick-Ass Stadium.
They've got that at Cass, but that's where everyone pisses.
That reminds me of Nosey Dove, and that's not.
Mate. Remember? Oh, I used to love Nosey Road, but them toilets, man. It was just the back of a cubicle.
That's
the back of a wall. Let's go around back. Women's are at the front, going at cubicles. Men's around back, just a wall.
They built statues on that land. I do not know. Civic, sorry.
But today in this podcast is going to be our ladder predictors. It was going to be a review of each team, this, that, and the other, and building up to it. But we've just left it too late, so we're doing all 14 all in one. We're going from bottom to top, and I'll start us off, and then Andy will take it the next one, and so on and so forth, all the way up. And we'll each say our own individual positions as well. So, 14th, rock bottom, the Wooden Spooners. I've got the Huddersfield Giants.
I've got Toulouse. Yeah, I've got Toulouse as well.
Toulouse. Yeah. So Hoods for me. I think Robinson's probably out of his depth because I don't think the tools are there for him. I think the squad's a lot weaker than last year, and that's saying something.
Yeah.
I don't see where the improvement comes from, and I think that ground is the biggest hindrance to them. They can't create an atmosphere, and the players just. I think it's hard for them to get up for games, and I really believe this year might be the final year of Huddersfield Giants in Super League as well. Nah, you've got London. Sorry, yeah.
Play there. Do they have a chance now to sort of should we say merge with Halifax, even though Halifax have gone? Does that make sense?
I wouldn't say merge because there's sort of like a Phoenix club.
Mm.
But
Phoenix.
this gives me the chance, because Ken Davies bought the ground,
to
move into it, at least for a season or two. Because look at the Dewsbury game last year. Everybody played at Dewsbury. Wigan, and they've got one this year against Toulouse.
It was a resounding success.
Yeah, it was, because the club ground and it made a better atmosphere, and could do the same thing at this year.
Mm.
But would they hardly travel to Huddersfield as it is? Like, would they travel further afield to go?
See, this is the issue. This is the major issue. I think we were talking yesterday. You made a good point there. Like, I live around here. So I moved over here, and I literally live in the smack bang in the centre of Bradford Bulls, Huddersfield Giants, and Leeds Rhinos. I don't think anything rugby league, anything at all, and none of them are more than 8 miles away from my front door. And that's maddening for me. I've always lived in Liverpool, and St Helens is 12 miles down the road, and you see it everywhere. So it's just, I can't get the concept of why these clubs aren't. It seems like they just focus on their area, their main area, and they don't try and branch out. And that would help Huddersfield. But Halifax is about 8 miles, something like that. And it's weird that it's a different council, it's a different area. Halifax, Calderdale, Huddersfield's Kirklees, but then Dewsbury's in Kirklees, and I think it's quite. You had a point yesterday. I think that's why they all went to Dewsbury, and they made that great atmosphere. And they nearly beat Wigan.
Yeah, true.
I'll tell you now, Dewsbury from Huddersfield's about 6 miles. So it's only 2 miles further on. But just think it's the fact that it's Halifax, and it's the next town over, and that's why they just don't want to do it.
And I think for today, I think what Johnny's saying there about the depth of the squad though for 2026, I agree. I think they're in trouble. Huge pressure on Robinson. I think this is his team. I don't think they're going to put any trees or whatever. The signings that they've had, I mean, we made a point yesterday, Ash O'Donnell, on him or it interview, saying that he's not comfortable in playing in front of large crowds.
So the interview
He's picked the
was.
right club then, hasn't he? He's picked the right club.
But the interview was obviously his brother to Kai, and Kai played at League, and he's like, "Has Kai give you any? Like, what was Kai?" And he said, "He said crowds are amazing. I don't like playing in front of big crowds. I found it difficult at friendly. He played York at home in Matt English's testimony, and I don't even think there was 2,000 then. And he was didn't like it. And you're like, wait till you go to a bouncing Rhinos or Cass or you just.
Man. Imagine him at like Cass, literally where they're on top of you, and there's 8,000. There's quadruple that much. I just reckon if George Ryan gets injured, the goose.
And yet, there's no, at the minute, with Ebbels, even though he's out at the minute. If you look at a spine of Ebbels, Lollahea, and Clune, which hadn't been friendly, Flanagan was on the bench.
That's mental.
Where's he even fit? So on the shortlist for Young Player of the Year at the Man of Steel Awards.
He's the best player they've got.
They've replaced him with Niall Ebbels.
And the thing is, now Ebbels is injured. I think the issue because Ebbels, Clune, and Lollahea are all injury prone. So you're just going to be moving Flanagan around constantly. So he's not going to be set in any position.
No. And he's better than Lollahea anyway. I won't have anything against it. But why have you guys picked Toulouse?
I'll let you go first on this.
I just think it's really cool. I think they're going to struggle to win a game. I think that I just look at them and think, probably that's played yeah. I just don't think that's enough to compete. I just don't think they've got enough. I think they
signed.
Can they threw the cat among the pigeons by winning the grand final? If they haven't, don't think they've got enough whatsoever to trouble many teams at all.
I think the only team they'll do anything against will be Catalan at home.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you because I think they're going to be 13th, but I'm not going to argue with any of them points. But I think they'll surprise a couple of teams, and I think they'll get a couple of shock results, especially traveling south of France. Like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they'll have that element. They've got Cesar Ruse. I think they signed theyre as well, didn't they?
Yeah, and thing is that wait, you say about that couple of teams. You say a couple of teams. We're talking like Castle and Huddersfield.
Yeah.
If they turn up with on a bad day, or even a bad day, Huddersfield have got a few injuries. You can easily see them beating them. Bradford, Castle, York, the Bush. So I think the whole
depending on how slamming Sam does, could be warranted.
Yeah, I think away from home you won't really have a chance. But at home,
yeah, it's them home.
Maybe against 10 clubs, and when you play Catalan at home, it'll be feisty and they'll be up for it. So other than that, don't see much for them, do you?
You've got Tyler Dupree as well, haven't they?
Yes.
Yeah, but
he's the marquee, really, and he's the big.
Well,
name
I'd say yeah, but if he's not meant to play it, and we'll leave that there. Yeah, but so was Josh Jones.
That's true. But they had, but it's a chance on Tyler Dupree. It's a chance for him in a new environment to be
lead.
The best. Yeah.
And to lead the pack. Whereas at Wigan, he never could lead it.
Exactly that.
Yeah. So they're my 13th. They're your rock bottom. So who are your 13th?
We've got to say it.
I got Huddersfield.
Oh no, you've changed.
Right?
Yeah. I've got Bradford. I've got Bradford, and I'll tell you why. I watched London see Bradford on Sunday. London obviously going to a big thing over players and new regime and all that type of stuff. And that time London were winning, and he had 15 fit players left when at half time. To come out the second half, Bradford, I think they went 2 points ahead. And on the hour mark, London went down to 12. And that's when then Bradford obviously push on. But the main takeaway for me for that was London was still creating chances and actually still bullying Bradford on the wings with 12 men.
And, do you mean Wonga Blake and Jayden Ockenball weren't dominating the wings?
Yeah, it was against Liam Tyndall. Not a chance, right? and it was really going forward. Let's put it this way: Bradford going forward, the wings and centres looked like Conrad Huddle going forward. In defence, they looked like Conrad. It was the 7 rowers coming across, which helped them defend, and that was against 12. So for London, I honestly think if they had 13 on the pitch by the end of the game, did a well. And I don't think the outside is really strong for that. But Ethan Knight's a great signing. He scored a couple of tries against London, and he's a great player. He's a great finisher. But the rest of them not.
Good coup.
The only real thing for me with them is, you were saying yesterday, they've got Nicarima, but he's not exactly catching. He's not really pulling up speed, is he?
And he'll only do half an hour a game.
Yeah, and all the signings that they've got, they haven't got a wow factor. And Nicarima, in the signings that they've got, is the wow factor. And that's not a
couple of years ago, you'd have said Andy Ackers, but now you wouldn't.
Again, he had a poor game again. But you look at some of the players they've got. Ryan Sutton, Andy Ackers. Andy Ackers was in England international.
He went for $100,000 to Leeds.
Yeah, Ryan Sutton was a great player originally, but you know who their best player is? And he's playing loose forward. It's John Mellon. And he's playing loose forward.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
When you think
Probably the most
Joe Mello
experience as well.
wasn't he? Too long ago, but that was playing the halves. Now he's a great, he's a player. Good. I'd call him. Best way I can describe Joe Mello is he's great. Oh, where? League.
Playing hooker. He was playing hooker for Salford last year as well.
And now he's at loose
So
forward.
they signed 3 hookers.
He's got 13, and he was their best player on the day. And you can just you look at that squad and you go, oh, he could be good. He could be good. He could be good.
That's a small 13, that though.
Yeah, and with that one player who you'd go, you know what? If you look at all these squads, then you can pick probably a player from each one, and he'd be their judge for me.
Actually, we said last night and said on that podcast as well. I think for it, it's about building structures, it's about building the club, it's about building a foundation, as opposed to building a team for 2026. I think what they're looking at is they've been shoehorned in, as we know. We're not going to go back over that again. No. I think they looked at it and said, okay, it's not about this season. We're in. That's the main thing. 2027 and beyond. I think that's what they're looking for.
Yeah,
I think it was harder
that,
for them not to be in than to be in.
Yeah, the points to go from the league position, they're going to get more points because clearly they're going to be higher than that. So what they're concentrating on, building a structure and everything off the field to keep them in the league.
Yeah. I agree, and that'll be the main focus. I'm assuming the Huddersfield is similar reasons to what we've already mentioned. Yeah. No point going over that. Is my 12th team is Bradford.
I've got them as 12
same
as well.
reasons.
And you've got Huddersfield.
Small pack.
Can't pick between Huddersfield and Bradford.
And yeah, it's just that cluster in it. And I think we'll go on this with a couple of the other clubs in this cluster in 11th and 10th. It's just an underwhelming group. And I think what we'll see this year in Super League is we'll see the distance between obviously Salford were an anomaly last year, like ignoring them. You'll see a similar fashion where last year we were saying it was effectively a 7 or 8 team league. I think this year we'll be seeing a 8, an 8 and a 6.
Yeah.
Or a 9 and a 5 in it. I think they're going to be the main divisions.
Yeah, and then I think it just becomes in what order does it finish, I think so.
But this is the thing, we're discussing on where they are. We've got these bottom 3, and we've all got the same bottom 3. But we could all argue, realistically, we know they're going to be the bottom. We really believe that they're going to be the bottom 3. We just don't know what order. And we won't know till probably mid-season.
No. Yeah. Exactly. And that's the scary factor that I think we mentioned when they were expanding the league, that the quality already, there was a huge gap between the top and the bottom 3 last year. And this year bottom 4 this year will just be a bigger gap even then. Like, I know, and we'll talk about clubs in a bit that, you know, my 11th place, for example, while we're probably going to be talking about this cluster, my 11th is Cass. I'm assuming your guys are York.
Yeah. You got York.
But if you want to deal with it,
I've
got Cass in 10th.
And I've got Cass in 10th.
And I've got York in 10th. So we may as well just talk about this cluster, because I think Cass, as much as they've got Valame, they've got Ravalawa, they've got Taft, they've had a host of signings that have come over. I think they've signed, was it 5 or 6 overseas signings all came over. They've released a couple. It's just like, in fact, I think it's more. I think they've got about 7 or 8 overseas signings, which it'll take them a long time to adjust. And that for me is the big factor, that you've seen it where everyone was talking about the back line, all this, that and the other. What was it, 14-0 against Oldham in the Challenge Cup? Doncaster, sorry, yeah, not Oldham. And that's like a mid-range championship club and they didn't really, they had a solid squad out. They're going to start the year, I think, quiet.
We can add on to that because Doncaster before got beat by Midlands Hurricanes and he didn't pull up any trees there.
It's just, I just think Cass, and also they've got a coach that was at Featherstone and didn't do good at Featherstone. Got the sack at Featherstone, didn't he? And then went back over in Ryan Carr and started doing Jersey Flag and then worked his way up to be an assistant back over here. And he's an unproven coach.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he knows the area, but it's a huge ask.
Rabbits always money for a little while.
Yeah,
he's with the Rabbits
at St. George. He was at St. George.
But you ought to play it. That's
the Rabbits. The past few years.
I think there's two things here with Cass. They've taken advantage of extended quota spots for sure.
And they've released
really have it. Yeah. And what they've done is invested heavily into a backline. And when you look at that and you look at the Predictor, with the exception of McIntosh, their whole line 1 to 7 is overseas. What I don't think they have is they don't have the forwards to back that up. A Tony could be good, but when you look at the rest of the 8 to 13, it's a Tony, and then it goes Hood, Lawler, Wynn, Mellon, Stimson.
Yeah. It's pointless having a good backline if you've got no forwards.
Exactly that. And just do the forwards.
You win a game in the forward pack.
We were saying last night, if this Cass team could be anything, if the forwards could match that, they can give them a platform. If they can give them a platform, they could do what Wakefield did last year, and they could push top 6, 7. But I don't think that the
huge
pack,
difference between them two.
It's not only the pack; it's the backup as well. There's you get a couple of injuries. Even what's coming in, that Singleton, it's not biting. It's not biting. Do you know what I mean? It's
again the back line. We said again the back line.
It's flat.
That isn't the backups to that. Rooney, Lewis Senior,
great.
Some players to bring in the back line.
Yeah,
but again, it's this pack.
They've got so much depth in the back line.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And the thing is, Ryan Carr's come out and he said that the cast that you're going to see in the first couple of rounds won't be the same cast as you see in part 16. And you think, well, yeah, you need a start. You need
a huge start.
You can't be catching up in this league. Because once you're behind, you look at let's see in years gone by, you look at Leeds and
Warrington won 8 in a bounce and still missed the playoffs.
You can't leave big enough gap, especially when you only got a 16 playoff.
It's easy to get left behind really quickly.
Yeah.
They're nowhere near in contention, and that's one of the reasons why I put them below York, is because of the amount of gelling that will take. Whereas I think York, what they've done is they've done very, very strategic, because they're building a dynasty. You look at all their signings, bar obviously Paul Vaughan, etc. I reckon, from what I believe when I looked at the signings before, I think it was 75% of them have a connection to St. Helens.
Yeah.
Where is he playing now? Gelling.
I heard that he's still a witness.
All right,
still riding his bike.
He's riding his bike to go do some litter picking.
Yeah, just don't just make sure you don't park your car right or wrong, or you might get a punch to the nose accidentally, of course.
Yeah.
Would you
Sorry, Your Honour, I accidentally punched her.
Would you rather park your car next to Anthony Delling, or would you leave it out?
I wouldn't even give the jammer.
Allegedly.
I'd rather go buying peas with that than would leave my car with Scott Morgan. You won't get you make sure to be safe.
Anyway, let's get back on the bike. That's the reason why I think York I think they'll start the season well. Not necessarily against OKR, of course. They're a different beast. But I think what they'll do is they'll get a couple of surprise victories early doors, and that will help them long term. I think that the initial gelling of a squad when they come up with that many signings is huge. They've got a leader in Paul Vaughan that's done it over here in Australia. That's, he led from the front at Warrington during his first year. And I really believe that they can pull off a couple of surprises here. But again, they could finish 10th, like I predicted, or they could finish, 16th or whatever.
The thing
14th,
is with
sorry, not 16th.
the thing is with York, for me, I think the same as Bradford. They look weak, but in a reverse, they don't need to sort anything off the field. Everything off the field's
They're doing
still
it.
perfect. Everything for years, and you're talking women, wheelchair, LDRL, PDRL, the lot. It's the dogs. The
Well, when
dogs.
he interviewed Clint Goodchild, that's what he said. He went, I had a vision for 2035. We want to win Super League. And it was like, right, baby steps. How do we start doing this? Right,
Yeah.
we need to start engaging with the community a lot better. We need to start building that and building that connection in order to grow to achieve that goal.
Well, the thing is for me with it is with York, I think you've got them players coming in. You've got what you've got. But when you look at it, when you say you need good stuff, it's going to be bouncing there tonight, isn't it? Absolute bouncing. And they could, everyone's expecting them to get back tonight. If they get close, that's going to give them confidence. Then they go to Leeds next week, who ravaged with injuries, and who'll have to mind on Vegas the week after. They could do something with the confidence that they could take from tonight, even in a small loss.
And they could have. I mean, they could have this real new club bounce.
Yeah.
And
Like last year.
yeah. If they can get 2 or 3 wins in the first 8 games of the season, let's say, and they could go into, let's say they could go into round 9, let's say with 1-3 lost 5. I think that'd be pretty good, and I think that'd claw them off the bottom.
Yeah,
and give them a foundation for the rest of the 2/3 of the remaining 2/3 of the season.
Yeah.
But not only that,
Absolutely.
I think I'm just double checking now, but I think they've got a decent draw in the Challenge Cup as well.
Yeah, it's Keithley.
I think. So the quarter final in the Challenge Cup as well. What?
Suddenly that field goal factor's there.
Yeah, but what
realistically, it would realistically be a point out for York at the end of the season.
I'd say they'd be happy with 12 or 14.
So 6 or 7 wins.
I was thinking I'd put a little bit higher.
No, I'm not saying that's how many I think people will get. I think they'd be happy with 12, 14 points.
I think they'd be aiming for about 20, personally.
I thought 18, 20, and that's why I put them as high as I do, because I don't see the other teams picking up that many points.
But what they've got, I think they've got a great chance of picking, let's say, 4 points against Toulouse.
Yeah.
They could have 4 points against Huddersfield or Bradford, 2 points against the remaining. Yeah, that gives them 10 for a start.
Yeah.
Cast, it's that sort of thing. So they could get most of those 20 points from those teams that we've already mentioned.
And then you never know. Yeah. Might someone just off Wembley on and off there, or the week before Wembley, and they're thinking about Wembley.
Who knows?
They might end up then beating like a Hull or a Catalan. And before you know it, they could get 20 points. Yeah. Oh, no, don't get me wrong. I believe that's a 16, 18, 20. I just think again, these are the teams who are looking to build on. As you say, he's looking at winning the Super League at a certain day. So everything's about steps. And if he gets them 20 points, I think to be ecstatic. I think they'll still be happy with 14. You know what I mean? And because then it's about building 14 next year. We need to go a step with it and step with it and build it that way. I think that's the model of the club. Do you know what I mean? Instead of setting it back.
I'm just looking at the whole fixture list, And they've really shafted them here, haven't they? They've got the World Club Champions Club, Hull KR. So they've got that. And then they've got the two Vegas teams straight after each other. The RFL have literally gone, right, York are the easy ones that you can have. So, like, they're the underdogs. They're the underdogs in all of this, which is the greatest thing for them. They can go in with that card and they can surprise.
What do you think, though, that they've signed a good mixture of like some youth and some experience? You mentioned Vaughan,
Really good.
I think they, when they've signed people like Danny Richardson that might be able to steer them around a little bit.
Depends how many games are under the club.
Exactly. Depends on the weather.
Yeah.
Or you've got that.
Depends how many planes are in the sky.
Yeah.
But when they've signed people like John Bateson, for example, who will be
Mr.
solid for.
Consistent.
Yeah.
I think Sam would be a good goal for them as well.
Yeah. And I think
Sam Wood's really good. A really good signing for them.
I quite like the lad from Hull they've got on loan, that Barnford. I think,
He's fantastic.
I think he did
He's
really
lively
well.
around the ruck.
Oh, he went to Cast, didn't he? And you see the performances.
So I think they've signed one or two good players that will go under the radar a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I think, like we said, that cluster could literally end up anywhere. So we're going to go into our next cluster, and it's the fight for the playoffs. So our 5th to 9th, but starting at 9th, I'm going for a controversial one probably in Warrington Wolves.
Okay, I've gone with Hull. Let's say
I've got FC.
Okay. The reason I think Warrington is it all depends on the coach. I think the squad overall is probably on par with last year. Or obviously Albert Harpoati is a good signing. All depends on how fit he can stay. He's had 2 real bad years of injuries. You then go into the whole drama with Tavita Pengai Jr. joining and then leaving because Steve McNamara got a job reuniting with Slamming Sam to steer Sam around, I think that's the only reason he's been brought in. He was his first coach at Bradford. He was his coach at England level as well. I just think that's the only reason he's been brought in, to give Sam that mentoring advice, because I think we all could see last year his hot-headedness, the cloud of vaping aroma that was going around the coaching box. And I think it might be the final year of Slamming Sam.
Kevin Proctor is absolutely livid.
What's that flavour?
Pink lemonade, my favourite. You can't have this like mantra of like nice guy / hard man, rock solid, and then sucking on a vape, can you?
I think with Warrington, like, I think they've got. I mean, Pop Martys don't seem to have good fitness genes, do they?
No.
Like good ones, if you like.
And the rest are awful.
And I think the others don't know. So I think the 2 good ones that they brought in, they brought in Tangan
Bentley.
No, but Tangan was on. So that Tangan was probably one of the most underrated players for KR last year. The last 2 years.
Yeah.
So I think the two good ones that
I
they
don't think
brought
he's
in
underrated.
that we know more about are Tanganoa and I think Sam Stone. So I think they're the 2 good ones. They're the 2 ones that you go, get a good side. Yeah.
Sam Stone obviously joined last year as well, to be fair.
Yeah. The 2 that I don't know about how they're going to go is Liam Byrne.
Yeah.
And James Bentley.
Who would
James
you rather?
Bentley one is so
Who would you rather? Who would you rather leave in an empty room? James Bentley or Roy Keane?
I think now James Bentley's sober. James Bentley.
Yeah.
I don't know, you know. Do you know what I found fun? I've seen this trend going on with the changes to jaws and stuff. James Bentley done one and he's still elite stuff.
Right. The other thing,
It was just a weird way he left Leeds as well.
Yeah. But I'll take it now. I've seen James Bentley outside African's car. Outside of football. Yeah, he had this.
like Peter Odemwingie.
Yeah. I know he was leaving a game. And you know what? He's got this swagger about him of, I've won the Super League. Do you know who I am? Do you know what I mean? I think he takes that up to the pit. And it just gets, and then someone dominates him, and he doesn't like it. And then that's when the red mist.
The red mist only seemed to come out when he was at the Saints after he broke his leg.
Yeah, that's it.
And then he came back in, and it was like he was like an absolute
animal.
Yeah. And he's been like that ever since.
Yeah.
Strange. Can I just ask you then, right? They've let quite a lot of players go. But if you look at the players that they've let go, how many are they really, really, really going to miss? Paul Vaughan, Stephen Ratchford, Danny Russell, Alfie Johnson, Roderick Ty, Matt Duffy.
Well, I heard that they held a cab for Matt Duffy, but he missed it. That's how much they're going to miss him.
He's too busy barbecuing. Yeah. He has now. He's with Mr. Fossil himself.
See that? That's called a play.
So which one are they going to miss? We imagine out of them, they'll miss the experience of Rashford.
Yeah, and his utility. His utility.
Is he still around the club though, Ratchford?
Yes, he's in part of the coaching staff now. Yeah,
and they'll miss Vaughan.
So there you go.
I don't think they'll miss Ty.
Yeah.
See, I think they've been shrewd. What you're saying about bringing McNamara in, I think they've been shrewd doing that. Because obviously we've seen what Burgess was up to last year, and it's just some of the stuff just weird. Just even in the interviews, it's just bonkers. But I think it's good for two reasons. One, McNamara is a really good coach. He really is. Let's be honest. But second of all, if Burgess does mess up, the replacement's right there.
Yeah.
He's right there.
Forget, he's also been an NRL assistant as well.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So give it 10 weeks. And if Sam Burgess replaces it, we've got McNamara on cue.
It's a dangerous appointment because a lot of coaches don't like to bring somebody in who potentially
could take over.
And I think that's different with Burgess because he wants to go to the NRL anyway. So he's been pandering for that before he even got the coaching job anyway. Mate, I don't get it. I do not get over here, mate. The amount of articles that are literally like, "Oh, such a coach is under pressure." Right. Sam Burgess is waiting in the wings. I'm like, do they? It just sums up the journalists just do not watch Super League. They just don't over here.
Jason Demetriou is a much better coach.
Yeah. Yes.
Much better. And he's in Championship.
Yeah. Exactly.
So,
just on Warrington. So for me, there you've mentioned what I've got them 7th, still missing out on the playoffs.
I did have them 6th, but I've got them 7th.
I had Hull FC in 8th, so do you want to give you reasons why? And I'm assuming your other team's Catalan.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So Catalan are my 7, FC's my 8, Warrington's my 9. Yours is 1 7.
Okay. So I've gone again. I've gone with FC in what did I have them in 9?
Yeah.
So I've gone with them. They made a push last year, and then blew it really to get in the 6th, didn't they? Really, when they could have got it over.
Yeah.
They were in prime position to get in, like overweight it, and they blew it. Don't see that much improvement in the squad from watching.
I think it's gone down.
Yeah, so I'm looking at I'm looking where they've signed from Saints, for example, the way they've signed Batchelor and Mandel. Batchelor couldn't move for the last 18 months. Now, unless he was really carrying injuries, or whether or not he's at his best remains to be seen. I think that's the same with James Bell. And if you're bringing those sort of players in, Sam Lissoni from Leeds, I think he flatters to deceive sometimes.
Yeah, I think he's awful.
He plays short spells, when he comes on and he barges through a few and they go, oh, the zone is this and the zone is that, he'll get the odd try here and there, but he doesn't. He's not one that you want to build a pack around.
He's your old battering ram, isn't he? That's what
He's your Akaroa. That's what he is.
Yeah, if you're talking about somebody off the bench to make an impact, he's no Tanganoa, is he?
No, I've got no.
No.
So I think when you look at and then they've got a couple of workhorses. They've got they've got Harvey Hill.
I like Harvey.
Yeah,
I like Harvey.
I like him.
But he's a workhorse. He's again.
But I just say earlier on, there's no signings there which is a wow factor.
No,
and they've not got it in the current squad anyway.
Romano,
except Price.
Romano's an interesting one. I did quite like him for Catalan.
Yeah,
without giving me a lot of reason to like him, if that makes sense.
But the French don't usually like travelling, as in they don't usually travel well when they go to an English club. The exception is Theo Farge, who went when he was a kid. But when they go at a later stage, they tend to get unsettled they tend to be quite home birds. You see it over here with Ben Garcia when he came to Penrith. He literally didn't even last a year. He went back, so he got homesick. They are very home birds, and that'll be the biggest telling.
Yeah, there is just a few exceptions, and I think he might be all right because Arthur Morg's in the same city, and Arthur Morg's been settled in anything like in the last season, and because I'm off to the same city, might just be all right.
But I think they haven't got enough to trouble the playoffs. So I'd be really surprised if they made it.
Who's
so I think
loose forward?
Paul.
Yeah, will it be Bell? But Bell isn't a start in 13. Bell is a coming off the bench with a weaker defence, with an exhausted defence, and exploiting that. That's when he works best. So if you're going to have him as an 80-minute 13, you've got an issue there already. Oh, of course, yeah. I forgot about Asiata. In which case, that could work, because they did that at Lee. They did that at Lee, didn't they?
So I think in that cluster, though, Johnny, for me, I've got Warrington 7, Catalan's 8, Hull 9.
And I will say on Hull, they've got two of the best young wingers in the country, I think. Harvey Barron and money back.
Yeah.
He just class. We were saying we would have the money man's debut, weren't we?
What, Martin?
And he's cool.
And they've got Litton in the centre.
Was that against Saints?
Yeah. Last game of normal season, a couple of years back.
Was that when we battered him?
He went to the play like it was tomorrow. But anyone can do that.
We knew he was on for something big then.
Yeah. Straight away.
Mate, he's no Don Perry.
I'll bring up Ryan Morgan in a minute and then we'll be done.
Oh, no.
Listen, no. He is banned from this podcast and always will be. Mine was Catalan 7th, Hull FC 8th, 9th Warrington. So Catalan we didn't really go over. So
no, I've got Catalan. I've got 6 Andy, and I think Catalan for me. I think everything depends on Dodd and Sexton. I think moving Garcia back to 13. Yeah. Well, say moving back, I think he's give him the 13 shirt back instead of that. But everything depends on Dodd and Sexton. Yeah. As you said on pod the other day, Lewis Dodd must have trained like a mammoth for the month to get a new deal before the team started.
I think what's probably also happened is the Sexton leaving early as well.
Yeah.
He signed a 2-year deal initially, and they've just swapped them contracts around, I think.
Yeah, and I do think everything comes from there. I think my main issue with Catalan last year was Kotric. And it's in a pass the ball when he's 10 yards out.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen Warrington.
White line fever.
Yeah, I've seen Warrington at a grand final against Wigan, where I forget who it was. If they just passed the ball twice, Mikey Lewis done it in the first round.
Ryan Atkins did it.
Yeah, it was Ryan Atkins. Mikey Lewis done it. in them games, in them moments, you need to pass the ball. Don't be, and he's got it every single game. He gets 10, 15 yards out, and he doesn't pass the ball, and you're like, and he gets tackled, and it's normally on a forward or a fit tackle as well, and you're like, just pass them. You know what I mean? But everything does come from them bars. They gel quick. They'll have a chance, but for the playoffs.
And they've always got an half decent forward pack. I think the swapping of Partington for Leeming is huge.
It's
because
outstanding.
they've finally got a 9 that is lively. That obviously the Sonny Luke transfer that they announced fell through. He was now at Cowboys. He didn't want to really go to the south of France, so he's an out-and-out replacement for that. They've got a 9 now. They've got a 13 in Ben Garcia. They've got a couple of good young lads. That fullback who wears a scrum cap, he's class. Is double barrel name.
They've Charlotte Staines the number 1, haven't they?
Yeah.
So,
I think he'll probably start the year at fullback, to be fair.
What I always love about Catalan every year, they've made a policy every year of having this star overseas halfback.
Yes.
And I love to see how they go. And I think the biggest thing for me is how we Sexton because every time they have one, it's like, does it work for them? But how is Mitchell Pearce going to do? How is Jed Maloney going to do? How do these people, how do these players go? I think it's like, and I look at these stars, and I look at these stars and think, like, I want to watch you play. I want when you come in this country, I want to see how you go on. I want to watch you play live. And Sexton's no different for me. My only issue with them is the coach. Really,
he's very unproven.
Yeah, if they had a more proven coach, I'd have them in the top 3. Okay.
Yeah, I think we've said pretty much everything there for them, and it's all down to our playoff positions and where they are coming to. In 6th spot, I have the Leeds Rhinos.
We've all got Wakey.
I've got Wakey.
Yeah.
I've got Leeds in 5th.
I've got Leeds in 4th.
Okay, so I'll say why I've got Leeds at 6th. I think the trip to Vegas will take it out of them, and they'll lose a lot of points after that.
Okay.
I think they'll lose in Vegas to KR, and I think they'll go on a bit of a downward run after that, and I think it'll be too much of a gap to catch up. So that's why I put them in 6th. And where did you guys put them? 4th?
I've got them 4th. Keeping them 5th.
They've also got a lot of injuries to get season as well. That could be a bit of they could find themselves 10 points down.
Yes, and it's after I get that, but I think they've got a tough game tomorrow against Lee. If they're known about these injuries for another, also then you've got your hope, but you pre-Vegas, so you think you're already thinking ahead type of thing. After Vegas, then go ended up now. I think they're at home to Castle after Vegas, which might just help them a little. Then they've got the Challenge Cup, and then they go to Flow FC. So I think what Johnny's saying about fading off a little bit, I think they can get, if these players who are injured don't go to Vegas or don't play in Vegas, fresh. They could be fresh when they come back, and then that's where they'll kick on type of thing. So I think that's where they are. For Leeds, for me, it's all about, like, Jay Connors out at the moment, but last year when he didn't play, they were awful. And people like Lockie Miller and Dodie Croft now need to step up, especially to start with the season and stuff. And I truly believe if they'd have stepped up last year when Connor was out, they'd have made 2nd or 3rd and made it a little bit easier for themselves. But I think that's a big issue.
I think one thing with Lockie Miller, so go on.
Go on about Miller.
With with Lockie Miller, because for me, he had a good season last year after his disastrous first season. Will he produce the same standard under Brad Arthur this year with a slightly lighter pack?
I think he's got to, and I think you've got to ask the very same question of Jake Connor.
Because for me,
Yes.
they both defensively are very weak. Like, they might do wonders in attack, they might score you a load of points, but for Lockie Miller, I think his weaknesses outweigh his advantages. That's my honest opinion. I think he's when he's in full flight, he's a showstopper.
I think they showed last year. Was it the 5K when they were one of the tries of the season? I think you're right. Going forward, the standard they can be dynamite. They can be amazing, but again, it's then that's where Connor pulls the strings.
It is,
and when he's not there, there's nothing. You know what I mean?
When they've
Can they do it in big games as well?
Yeah, I mean, when they've had that ability to get on a roll and move the ball really quickly, from Connor, to Miller, Hall or Newman or Hanley or whatever, they look really dangerous. Get on that roll and do that. One thing I do think about Leeds, Johnny, is this is the last hurrah for this team. In 2027, both of them won't be there. Newman won't be there. It doesn't look like Alenti's going to be there.
Matt
Smith,
looks like Brody Croft might be off as well.
Yeah, Ryan Hall probably won't be there beyond this season. But this is the last hurrah for this team. Because that serve as and I would doubt, but I was going to be there at 27 as well. Because this rolling contract situation doesn't bode well. No, you made the point last night, right, about who's going to come and play in 27 if they don't know the coaches. Again, when you look at, you just said, Johnny, with the journalist situation in Australia there, and it's like we talked about Sam Burgess waiting in the wings. Surely it should be Brad Arthur's waiting in the wings, who's out of contract at the 20s. But what I'm saying is about this team is that sometimes can serve as real motivation for this group of players. This is our last chance. Got to get it done this year because it's now or never.
Not only that, if you look back at these seasons, since I think issue with coaches who was like when Oldrup was taking up or Wolf was staying. Once they signed a new contract, be it May, June, they see around just before it was all like rumours about that to be going back to the NRL and things like that. The performance levels dropped. As soon as that contract was signed and announced, they were away again. And I think Brad Arthur is the gel. We talk about teams gelling and new signings coming in. I think he is the gel for Leeds Rhinos. I think he's on new change.
Coach can change a team overnight.
Yeah.
If they know what they're doing and they know how to manage, they can change a team overnight. And Brad Arthur is so good at that man management. Look at that Parramatta team, right, in 2022 when they got to the grand final. That team on paper should have got nowhere near that grand final.
No, but it's the thing.
And they overperformed.
Look at Jake Connor at Huddersfield and all. There's photos of him sulking on the bench because they get him beaten. Something not. Jake Connor became a superstar last season. Look, don't get me wrong, we've all known he's had the talent and we've all known this. But I'm just the one who tapped into it and got it on.
Yeah.
It is. So, obviously, they were my sixth. Who are your sixths? Because they were...
Both of us.
Both, Lee?
Yeah, got Wakey as well.
Yeah.
Wakey, sorry. Yeah. What reasons?
I think they could go really well. I think, obviously, you've got them higher than 6, haven't you?
Yeah.
So, and I wouldn't argue against you.
Really not.
I think with the spine that we've got there.
This is that cluster. This is the third cluster.
Yeah.
Is that 4th, 5th, 6th?
Yeah.
4th, 5th,
Yeah.
6th, yeah.
I think with them, I think with 4th, 5th, 6th, and I think you're right. I'm assuming then that you might have them in 4th. Yeah. So I think
I've got them in 4th, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that if you look at that, if they can keep that spine fit of Jowett, Lino, Smoothie, Tavaga,
Outstanding, that.
and then you fit the players around that, like Pratt, like Johnston, like Scott, particularly coming off the bench.
Yeah. Harvey Smith.
You're
I think they've
forgetting
got fine.
they signed Hamlin Uele, mate, as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, I think we've got.
Fertilli,
I
who
think
was outstanding last year. They got Vanganar as an 18th man in the terms of the squad, and these are players that are class. Josh Rourke is like, who had a sensational year last year. He's not even in the starting sort of numbers. This is a team that could well go the distance in terms of like prelims in Australia or semi-finals in the UK. I really think this team can do it. Mike McMeekin's leading from the front with Kai Rodwell. Shorten again. It's just it could well be these are the underdogs this year for me.
I also think they've got the right
And what
coaching place.
transformation?
Yeah, I think they've got the right coaching place to bring out the best in this group as well.
They are, for any team in Super League, they are the blueprints. They are the blueprints. They got relegated. Worst season we've seen for years. They bounced back. Not that they just bounced back. And they have built that plan on and off the pitch to perfection. Absolute perfection. And now, this season, they look stronger. They look better, stronger. But what was it? The Judy and Sabaka, 208 NRL appearances. Sweden. And a 9 and 13. Unreal.
Smoothie played in the grand final.
Yeah.
He was on the bench.
Yeah.
I can see Tavaga being fantastic.
Tavanga was class at 13.
Yeah, he's going to be one of them players. Everyone will be like, oh, don't know, we don't really know the NRL. Those who know the NRL, oh my days. You know, you say about...
Well, man.
I want to go sit. I want to go watch that. I really want to go and watch Wakefield.
Do you know what? You can't give them enough credit, can you, for the last couple of years since they've come back to the Super League.
As you said last night, I said about this season, they've gone under the radar. All these signings have gone under the radar. That's all.
Yeah.
You know, he
did really well last year for them in the back end of it. It's...
Last time we were on the radio last night, BBC Leagues of the 5 West Yorkshire teams. They could easily be the top performing West Yorkshire team.
Oh, easily. Yeah. Easily.
Oh, I believe so. Out of the West Yorkshire teams, they will finish the highest. I genuinely don't have a single doubt in this. No doubt Leeds fans will come at me at the end of the year. I'm sure they will. When I'm wrong. But this is just what I just believe they will. Like.
That's just a plus start.
Nothing to do with
it.
No.
We are currently looking over the skyline of Leeds City Centre.
Yeah.
And on top, the biggest building, there is a banner that says Johnny Lewis head. And we'll leave that thing.
It wouldn't shock me. There's usually Hull that have that banner up, so they must have borrowed it.
It does not say free the Sydney one. That's all I'm saying.
And it doesn't say welcome to underneath either.
Exactly, yeah.
I know. So, and our other one in that cluster, I've got them in 5th spot. I'm assuming you guys had Wakey 5th. Wakey 6th, so you had Leeds 5th, Lee 4th?
Yes.
I've got Lee 5th.
So it's the same plus.
Yeah,
so you've got Lee same as me.
Yeah.
So Lee, genuinely, they've got a great coach. And that is yet again the ideal of them. They've got Owen Trout in his final year, by all reports, according to Australian press anyway. So he'll be looking to end on a big finish. He was the standout prop last year for me. in the comp and the year before for Huddersfield. He is an outstanding English talent.
Absolutely. And they haven't had
And
too
he'll lead
much.
from the front.
And they haven't had too much people in the squad either.
No. But they
Not like previous years, no.
I think they will miss Ethan O'Neill, but the rest of them you won't really miss.
And I think the addition midway through of Offa Hengawi was a great signing. I'd said he'd done nothing for Parramatta for years. I said, what's the point in that signing? I laughed at it when he signed for them. And he is someone that came here with the right attitude, the right personality. And he took it by storm. The only other thing is how the centre will get on after Derek's public backing of him.
Yeah.
Your mate Derek?
My mate Derek, yeah.
Your mate Derek, yep. For those who don't listen to Only Rugby League, Andy, first of all, you should, and Andy met Derek in a toilet, in a theatre, was it?
Yeah. Yeah, shook his hands,
What
but
was the
not
show?
afterwards. For those who know, it was on Canal Street in Manchester. It was a comedian. It was Justin Morehouse. It was not on Canal Street. It was
Justin Morehouse, nice.
I saw Derek.
Known as Little Kenny.
Yeah, that's right. And then we shook his hands.
But
not coming out of the toilet.
And say it's you.
He didn't take anything else, did he?
No.
Did
he do any dancing while he was at the toilet, like behind a camera?
No, but he was dying to shout something out during the show. Definitely, like, you could just tell.
Yeah.
You could just tell he was definitely trying to make his voice known, but didn't quite manage it.
No. See, I think with Lee,
absolutely,
right? I think with Lee, you know, where we're saying about backups for squads for first teamers.
Yeah,
they've got a few. Like AJ House is an amazing winger. You got Keenan Bryant. Is it Bailey Hodgson fullback?
Yeah.
You know, so they do have these replacements in if they need to. I think, like Johnny, I think Adrian Lamb again, like Leeds, he's the glue. He's the glue that holds it all together. I think he's performed better at Leeds than he did at Wigan, and he got Wigan to grand final.
Yeah, massively. Massively.
And I think it all depends in the summer period. Like when we get to like May onwards, Challenge Cup, I think that's going to be a big spell for them for two reasons. One, because that's where they normally push. That's where they normally thrive in that time. And second of all, depends how many Cornettos Morrisons have got.
But the difference between last year and this year was that high turnover of players. It took them a while to get going. It took them a while to gel. This year they've not got that as much. They're ready to hit the ground running, and I think they will.
It's good for if you can keep Armstrong fit as well.
Yeah, he's key.
Yeah, he's a game changer.
He's key, and he does need to stay fit. But you look at their start, they've got Leeds at home, and then Saints to get away. They've got
big three clubs.
They could set the tone for the season either way.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's vital. So we've spoken about them.
Sorry, I've also got them Challenge Cup.
Yeah, you have. Yeah,
good shout.
I've got them.
Good shout. They are. Have you? I'll get on to mine.
I've got what you said. You know about this is the last head half for most of them. So that could be their main goal. You know, the one that's the most achievable.
It's the most winnable trophy. For
them,
that's right. I think
they have their eyes set on, and the fact that the final's at the end of May, I think you can go like we push for that, and then we take it from them.
Yeah. And now we go on to our top three. I think we've summed them three up pretty well, and with our predictions. In third spot, I've Hull KR.
You've got KR.
I've got Hull KR as well,
and I've got Saints.
Oof. Talk me through Saints, and we'll go through KR.
I've got Saints a third. I think they've signed well. I do think they've signed well. I think Jackson Hastings
In the
will.
end,
In the end, yeah. I think Jackson
it was
Hastings
touch and
will
go.
prove to be a great spanner. I think this could be the way Sailor looks like he's going to be playing with Hastings. I think the struggles that Saints had in the halves last year when moving people around and not knowing what was best for Sailor. What was best for Sailor was having a ball playing 7 who can dictate the
Yes.
game and leave Sailor to do what he was doing. And I think that's what they've got with Hastings. Right. And that will then bring the
They do.
best out of Tristan Sailor. That's great. My worry for Saints is the wings. Dion Cross, I don't think should be starting as a start
He
winger.
should be third choice.
I don't, and felt for me, we were saying yesterday, he looked mundane, he looked lethargic, didn't he, when he played? Everyone's going, oh, it's a scoring stats. You made the point yesterday that most of them would have been Salford.
11 of them were
Yeah,
against Salford.
I played against Salford last year.
11
And
tries out of his 20 were against Salford.
I'm the size of a prop, and I played wing in Salford last year. You know what I mean? So that's my main issue for me. Don't get me wrong, I've got them in a lot. But I think it'd be typical scenes of having not an iffy start, one of them starts that you normally have, building through the season, getting, doing again what you do, just where you have second or first in the palm of their hands and then lose it, but like in August, and then you build again at the start, like the last couple of games, get to third and then push on.
I think with Saints, I don't think they're dealing with the Mark Percival situation very well. I think Percival should be in the lineup.
All day.
I still think he's
all day long.
One of, if not the best centre in the league.
Yeah.
When he's fit and firing.
Not just going forward, defensively, he is the best centre in the league.
And bringing the ball out from his own 20 as well, I think, I think, that to me should be McDonald on the wing, Percival, Robertson in the centre, and Felt's going to be on the other wing with Dagnall to come in.
Mm-hmm.
And needed.
And Murphy to come in.
All wings. Say that again, sorry, Johnny.
And Murphy as well. They've got 2 good wingers to cover there.
Who's forgotten in all this, really, isn't he?
Cross really is 4th choice, and yet
Yeah.
going to be starting.
He's the forgotten man, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
See, that's why we watch the wings, because you look at the right side for Saints, even against Workington, the right edge is Felt, Robertson, Sailor, and they're gonna be zoning in on Robertson and Sailor. Everything can do it.
I agree with you about Sailor going forward. He could become this year, could be a bit of Danny McGuire. Just get on the end of things, get on the end of kicks, get on the end of breaks, things like that.
Defensively.
I think unfortunately, it's an unfortunate injury in the cup there to Matty Lees.
Yes.
I think that's a bit of a blow, especially with him being captain now as well.
Not only that, but losing goals and then Lees for 3 months.
And Simmeron's out still as well. So I think the problems in the thinking that in it, which more pressure on people like Shane Wright, host to come in. Shorrock's been good pre-season. He's been really good.
Mm-hmm.
He's tackled well. Again, you're looking at, but then all of a sudden you're looking at Walmsley to make all the hard yards again.
Yeah, because Shorrock's has his hand in everything going forward. Absolutely. Where you expecting your 6 and 7, he's literally got his hands in every play.
Yeah.
Every play.
Yeah.
I do like the look of Clemmer. Yeah. He looks like he's here to play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is what I've had a discussion with my mate with, because David Clemmer, I've watched him in the NRL for the past 5 years when he was at Tigers, Knights and Dragons, and my lord, was he awful for them 5 years. And I said, what the hell are we doing signing him? But I said the same about Offa Hengawi for Lee, and I think if he comes over with the right attitude, which it looks at the minute he has, his size, his physique, and his running style can be one of the most destructive if he comes with the right attitude, and I hope he has, because it looks like he has. I think he's come to win things because he hasn't won much for a while. At all.
Another thing on things from me is there's an obvious change in style.
Yeah.
Huge change. It's night and day.
And the fans are happy about that
Mm-hmm.
because we've starved of entertainment for the last 3 years. And all of a sudden, they're playing the ball in friendlies, they play the cup, and suddenly every player the ball has got 2 or 3 passes attached to it.
Yeah.
And it's been
and not
like
only that,
night and day.
they're allowing Lee Breers to coach by the looks of it.
Yeah, and I think that's a major
style, the pushing up of players around the ruck. That's all Lee Breers kept talking about last year, but we weren't doing it. This year, under an attacking coach, we are pushing up at every play the ball, the support, the bang, bang, it's quick. You've got Jackson Hastings there to lay off the ball. You're attacking, and this is the key point for Saints, you're attacking with 2 fullbacks.
Yeah. Interestingly,
sweeping motions, cut out passes, they will be the highest point scorers in Super League this year.
Interestingly, Lee at the cup game against Workington last week, Lee Breers was pitch side for most of the game. With bench organising, and he was there. Last year he wasn't. He was up in the box.
Do you know what I think of a massive plus point to Saints is? Actually having a kicking game, not Jackson Hastings.
Hugely, mate. That's what we were crying out for as a club.
Saints
for the
have been
last
missing
year.
for 2 years. 83 kicking game, and it's that little one thing might stop against Girls from winning things.
I would argue that Saints haven't had a decent kicking game in the half since Luke lost.
Yeah.
So I think
absolutely in-game kicking. Absolutely. Theo Farge wasn't a kicker. Danny Richardson wasn't an infield kicker. Lewis Dodd was a consistent one.
This is the thing. Just now, you look back, right? Look, I'm in this city at the minute. I live down the road. I hate coming here because all I think of when I get here is Kevin Sinfield play, and how many playoff games did he kill us to death? And that's all that Saints have missing for years. And now they've got it, so utilise it, and get it right. That's it.
This is why I have Saints top of the league. Also, I've said multiple times that this squad this year has a lot more depth than last year because the young players, likes of Dagnall, likes of Whitby, have had experience last year. Noah Stevens, although minutes were limited, he'll come on a lot this year. His ankle injury is just, holding it back. You've got the likes of Jake Wingfield there that isn't even getting in the squad at the moment, and he is Mr. Consistent for the forward pack when you need him. You've got Jacob Host, who's unproven, really. He's not made many NRL appearances. His last game, he got sin-binned twice. So he's got a point to prove, and I think he's a big boy, though. He's a lot of size. Him and Sirenen being in second rows. I think Host will be playing prop this week coming up. He's got that flexibility that you can utilise. And I think this year overall, they've got a hell of a lot more depth than last year. So I've got them top. Me and Andy both have KR in third place. Do you want to give us your reasons, Andy?
Having up to the standout team last year, it's really difficult to replicate that, isn't it? Because, there's only one way you can go from there. You can't keep winning all 3.
No.
Well, he's proven that.
Exactly that. I think they've had... how much will they miss, for example? I wonder how much they'll miss Tangano and Warrior Hargreaves.
Tangano is just,
Warrior
massive.
Hargreaves for me is the biggest one. That experience, mate.
And I think that when I look at what's coming, yes, they brought Tom Amon in, but he's not Ollie Hart.
No, he's not.
They've got pretty much.
He's not got that experience.
No,
I think they've got pretty much the same squad, but I think, to me, they're slightly weaker than they were last year.
yeah, I think they are weaker a little bit. I think in second, I do think they are a little bit weaker. In a way, they are, but also what they've done is, I think this is going to be a massive. Everyone's talking about May and I can't think Lewis in the again, but for me, Arthur Moor's the key. He's the key for this, and if he
I
can
disagree, man.
last season, he can. I think he'll keep them in that run. Also, they brought in good young backups. Is it Murphy? He was a solid Murphy, and the lad from across the city, Charles from FC.
Charles is a good coup for them.
A great player, and he's going to be a great player for that.
Great kicking game.
And again, we kind of missing a May or a Lewis. You don't have to be just making into 6 anymore. They now have the replacement there and waiting. Right, and it's the same with it's Broadbent, isn't it? It'd be moving Broadbent to fullback. Now he can cover the centres instead of just covering fullback, because I think he's better as a centre.
I like him.
And I think he's a good backup for the centres. I think he could even start over maybe in Gilbert. But Castle for that, then backups for their back 7. I think KR have got that. I do think they're a bit lighter going forward.
I think, for me, if you have to say they were at 100% last year,
all day long. Yeah.
I think they've only gone to 95%. Don't get me wrong; they're not significantly weaker or anything. They've gone 95%. But with the group teams have played,
yeah,
I think that could count. And I also think as well is that yes, they've got this monkey off the back of 40 years. There's 2 ways that teams can go on that. You can build a dynasty, as like Manchester United, for example, like the Wigan Saints, like that, yeah. Or it can be, we've done that now. We can rest on that a little bit. Yeah, I'm saying they do rest on
a bit, yeah.
And I'm not saying that happens, but sometimes that can happen subconsciously, where it's like, well, we've got that monkey off our back now. Right, okay, we can relax a little bit. And I think,
and you change that by the personnel, refreshing your squad, and they haven't done that massively.
That's my point. Why I've got them in third and not having them down to win anything next year.
No, I haven't got them to win anything.
They have the hardest start to the year.
Yeah.
They have the World Club Challenge against Brisbane Broncos. That'll take it out of them. And then they're going to Vegas the week after. That will take it out of them hugely. And I think this is why I've got them third, because I think they'll drop a lot of points early doors. They've got the World Club Challenge bounce that usually falters a little bit. But they've got the buzz of Vegas straight away, so I think it'll have a week's delay. I think they'll be all at it in Vegas, and then it'll all come crashing down over like a 6-7 week period. And I really think they'll struggle to pick up points there, and then they'll finish strong.
But when they come back from Vegas, they've got Huddersfield away. Now, this is what I'm saying.
That's like when Saints won the World Cup Challenge in 2023. We played Cast, scraped through against Cast, and then we lost a few games straight after that. It was like that delayed.
But this is what I'm saying. They've got that. I think that backup that they've got, which won't be playing in Vegas, is good enough to beat Huddersfield. They've not just got Huddersfield away. Then the week after in the Cup, they've got Huddersfield away. And then you go to Catalan. So you could technically on staff, if they then put some of the backup in, or a lot of the backup in Huddersfield and they win, this is be stupid enough to go, like, you know what, lads, you can have another week off, we'll play the same squad again at Huddersfield the week after, and then give them that 2 week after Vegas. He cut this would happen.
Can they can they beat the Broncos, Johnny?
Mate, Reece Walsh. That's my answer.
Yeah, again, that's your That's it.
Mate,
That's it.
the difference with the Broncos is this year they've had a little mini fallout at pre-season by the looks of it, with a 2-week camp that a lot of the players weren't happy with. Payne Haas has now left the club next season, like that's already confirmed because of this, by all reports in the media over here. So that could be a lingering factor that could help Hull KR. So if
And
they're
it's the
going
thing
to
with
win, it's because of this pre-season.
as well.
What was that? Sorry. Well, at the end of this year, yeah, one of him and Hunt, or both of them. So this is their final swan song. This is their chance to win it as well. They'll want to right some wrongs of 2007, I'm sure.
Adam Reynolds put in one of the, just off the subject really, he put in one of the greatest individual displays I've ever seen at a World Cup Challenge when the Rabbitohs crushed Saints.
South.
Yeah.
39.
And Adam Reynolds was imperious that night. One of the best performances I've ever seen from a player. Literally.
When Russell Crowe gave up an Oscar award presentation to be in sunny St. Helens in a February evening.
Let's put it this way.
He literally got an award. He didn't have to, he wasn't nominated, he got an award.
Yeah,
he's not the only person who'd rather be in St. Helens than Sydney.
Yeah. One of them isn't Mike Rush. Anyway, next subject. So we've got one team left to discuss, and that is, of course, Wigan Warriors. So I've got them in second. I'm assuming
First of all,
you've got them top.
Do we have to talk about them?
Well, we don't have to. We can skip over them if you want.
You've got them
exactly as I've got them top.
Right. I've got them top. I've no idea why.
Yeah, snap.
I've got them this high up because of Wigan.
Yeah. I have no idea why. They didn't. I do.
The squad.
I do. Yeah. No, but you know what? I think the only good signing they've signed is now out for the season.
He's out for the season.
Who's that?
Ollie Russell.
Oh yeah, of course.
Not Ollie Russell. Oliver Wilson.
Yeah, Oliver Wilson. Sorry.
So, last year, right? The year before, they won everything. Yeah.
Didn't sign anyone.
Right. Last year, they didn't sign anybody. Therefore,
they went down.
Exactly what we've just said about Hull KR, right? And they fell off 5-10%. Yeah. Okay. Didn't sign anybody. They didn't win anything this year, 2025.
They've signed 2 young lads from St. Helens.
Yeah.
So, look, as we've already discussed,
somebody from Barrow,
but as we've already discussed, and then Catalan has got the better deal between Cruz leaving and Old Barton. So why have you got them? So why have you got them?
I can't work out.
I like forwards. Bevan Fletch.
Sheffield.
And Sheffield. That's it.
Literally. And
we've been going on about the wow factor, the X factor. We've been going on about the wow factor and the X factor of certain clubs and what they don't have. They have not just one, they have 2.
And it was, and although they made the grand final and finished second, there were spells last season where they were atrocious. Yeah. They didn't play well at all.
Hugely.
It was about a spell. Where they weren't great.
They got beat by Huddersfield.
Oh my days, yeah.
So I'm not quite sure why I've got them top. I don't know what the nagging feat is that one has got them top.
Because it's Wigan.
That's it.
Because it's Wigan.
That's it.
And it's like, I mean, to me, you could have any of those top 3 or 4 teams in that top position. Yeah, I'm going to include Lee in that.
Yeah,
but I think you could have any of those top 3 or 4 teams in that top position. And I've just plugged with them for
God knows why.
I haven't got a logical reason.
I think the most logical thing we can come up with between us for both of us having them top, even though all these things we've just said, it's Wigan. That's it. Nothing else.
And they've lost more players than they brought in.
Exactly.
I think if I was trying to be logical,
Harvey Hill
yeah,
lost Dupree,
Burn,
Liam Bain.
Byrne.
Yeah.
3 props have gone.
sure.
And
If
who's
I was,
replacing him? Wilson's out for the year, so they've got Sam Esse, who was on loan at Hull. That's
and
their only.
And Semba's big. He needs a big year now.
But if I was being logical, you're right. You're saying French and Field, and that's why. I mean, if you take them out of it, I'd probably have them at 6.
Yeah, that's it.
But
Yeah.
you're looking at the top of the league down. You're saying, okay, Lee, I don't think quite improved enough.
No.
And that's probably the same with Wake.
But
Right.
also with Lee, you can't rely on Armstrong being fit for the whole
Yeah.
season.
Obviously, it dropped off.
Yeah.
And Saints is a little bit unknown because it's pretty much a brand new team and a brand new coaching setup.
Yeah.
So therefore, it'd be a lot for Saints in top like Johnny has.
Yeah.
To me. Yeah. So that's why I've probably gone for them. Is I think I've
It's a
gone for them as
safer
top
option.
if he stops. Yeah, exactly what I was going to say, Johnny. Yeah.
But also, get me, it's because it is. You know, again, where they had that blip last season, the 10-game blip, they were still pulling out results to fight for the sevens, and they still finished. I mean, I could have finished top,
And yeah,
easily. And I'm not just talking like by a point. They could have quite a chaos.
Yeah.
They could have won that league of leaders by 4-6 points. Easy.
and yet, do I think they'll win the grand final? No. So why have I got on top? No, I don't know either.
And then the one. And that's the thing here. We've both got the same. We've both got the same top of the league. We don't know why, and we both got the same grand final winner, and we don't. And we still want to put in the top.
So, talking about the grand final winner, I've got Saints to do the treble.
Yeah,
I will
and I've got
obviously
Lee.
completely biased.
Yeah,
But
I've got.
also logically thinking, is that strength in depth that I was talking about earlier? I think they've got that rotation. They've got the branch of the young ones coming through as well that are developing. The likes of Jake Davies, who's now going to get more minutes this year by the looks of the squads. It just looks like it's brewing. And me and your co-host Callum, when we did our season review at the end, we were livid with what was going on, and we kept just saying like the signings at that point when we recorded that podcast was non-existent. It was like a scattergun. There was no sign of even David Clemmer when we did it. There was no signs of anyone coming in, and we said the one thing we needed, and we had needed for since Lewis Dog got announced that he was leaving, was a 7. And this year, thanks to Jackson Hastings' personal situation, along with career, we managed to get a Super League, former Man of Steel winning Super League halfback that ticks every box we needed. And there was a point last year where Paul Rowley was in the Sky Sports studio before the Saints game, and they were asking about these 12 combinations that they had at halfback at that point when Jack Wellesby was playing 13 in this game in particular. And they asked Paul Rowley, what is your spine? And he said, I'm not going to answer that because it's not my team. But then throughout the rest of the interview, he kept saying how Tristan Saylor should have been basically kept hinting that he should have been 6 and Wellesby should have been 1. And this year, we've now got Saints have got an organising 7. They've got Tristan Saylor for the running game. They've got Jack Wellesby playing his game. And by the looks of Jack, he is playing exactly what standard of rugby he wants to play and style. With them sweeping motions, with them cut-out passes. And that is the reason why I've got them winning the lot, because of the strength in depth and because of the style of play Paul Rowley will bring. If they can add Paul Rowley and Lee Briers' attack to the steel and grittiness of the defence that Christian and Paul Wellens has brought to the club, there is no stopping that team. Which is mental, because when me and Callum recorded that podcast, we were like, we don't even see us making the playoffs.
Wait, that way you just
Mad
said,
one off season.
Paul Rowley pretty much did his job interview on Sky, didn't he? There.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But where you've just been,
I remember being on the phone to you,
yeah,
talking after that game.
what you just said, Johnny, being on with Cal and knowing where they were, no look at the signings, no nothing. That's what my worry with Leeds is this season and beyond, because of that indecision of the coach and leaving it to the last minute. Then it creates this thing, and since we've got basically bringing Hastings in, and now everything looks rosy.
And Nene as well.
Yeah. But then Leeds could have that issue again at the end of the season. It's like, no players can assign for next season. And then it's literally scraping the barrel for transfer players for 2022. And that was just the earlier point. But with you saying that, that's exactly where they could be in 10 months' time.
So why have you guys got Saints to win it?
Similar reasons.
Exactly. Say, I think where I've got them third, and as I say, I'm not before seeing it happen before. Saints build, and win. And I think that's why when I've got them third, I think they have got quick ability finishing top and second, but I think they'll have a low like they do every year, and then they'll end up scraping into fifth. But they'll have a couple of games at the end of the season where they'll perform well. They'll take that into the playoffs, and then it's just a steamroll, snowball effect where we've seen it before. No one can stop.
The way the playoffs is nowadays, there's no guarantees for the top two anymore.
No,
there isn't an lot apart from the that's the only advantage.
We don't have to look at last season. Look at last season. Saints, Leeds.
Yeah.
Wake could have went to 3-1 easily. League then could have went to Wigan on 1 easily. Saints had a chance to play.
It's just who's freshest and who's got stiff bodies, I think.
And Leeds were in the semi-final. They were in the semi-final after the final whistle. After the final hooter, sorry.
I think then what it comes down to is the depth, because I think it's all when you get to the playoffs, it's all about who's got the most fit bodies on the field, and that comes down.
Yeah,
unless you're really fortunate with the injuries.
And as Johnny says, it's then rotation. So when you are playing, you might have a Toulouse at home playing, and Toulouse aren't down on the ball. It's rotate back there, and you get these bodies, like, especially if you're going to be relying on people like Worms and Sidden, and give their bodies a rest for the week and things like that. I think Saints then have that in it to then go.
And the bleeding in of the youth, and the thing that Paul Rowley also suggested during that interview was that he would have had George Whitby at the club when he went out on loan to Halifax. And I think if Hastings gets injured, George Whitby comes in at 7. If Tristan Saylor gets injured, George Whitby comes in at 7 and Hastings goes to 6. If Jack Wellesby gets injured, Saylor goes to fullback, and then you've got Hastings and Whitby 6 and 7. That huge, them patterns and that system then doesn't have to change. The system, the style of play, because Wellesby and Saylor are similar players. You've got Hastings can play 6 and 7, and then you've got Whitby that can just slot in and do his role and learn. Whilst he's learning from a Man of Steel winner.
Where we were saying that Saints don't haven't had 7 since Luke Walsh. I think George Whitby is that 7. I think he's been that 7.
He will be.
And as you just said, Johnny, the experience he's going to learn. I was saying this about Wakefield.
Johnny Lomax on the sidelines. Yeah. He'll learn a lot from him.
I was saying this about Wakefield last night. Harvey Smith is going to learn so much from Smoothy at Wakefield. That Harvey Smith's a great player anyway. By the end of the season, he's going to be elevated so much. I even compared it on the radio last night. So that's how good that's going to be for Wakefield. And I think that's what Saints have got now.
You've even got there, Johnny, you've even got the option, you say, out of the halves, because they've got 3 really good quality centres in Percival days. then you've even got the option to move Robertson into 6.
Yeah.
And still have 2 quality centres.
Yeah.
And then there you go. And that's enough. Or play him at fullback if necessary, if you don't want to disrupt Sailor and Hastings, or etc. Or like there's so many ways they can go about it.
So many options. So many options.
The wings options we went on before, and one of the main ones is the likes of Darryl Clark at 9. That experience at 9, the whippiness, the ruck speed will be a lot quicker this year. That's already been said. They're gonna stop that, and the likes of him and Sailor darting out a dummy half, the likes of Jake Burns, who I've no doubt will play a bigger role this year now Moses Mbai has left the club. Even so he'll have this chance to do his 20-minute spells and exploit the defence. I think we will see a Saints side that will shock a lot of people, because I think the what we've been used to for the last 2 years, that'll be it. He should do, because he'll exploit the defences a lot more with the quicker ruck speed.
People will be watching this and seeing 3 Saints fans, Bob and Smoke Up Saints are. But what we're saying here is the backup's that good. Let me ask you this: how many Super League clubs would have Dagnall and Murphy as their starting wingers?
Yeah.
And at the moment they're second and third, and they're third and fourth choice for Saints. And how many Super League clubs are?
I agree. Yeah.
I think even with Hull's young wingers the way they are, I still think he'd probably get in over Barry. One of them two.
Yeah.
And then you look at it, like how many clubs would have Mark Percival as a backup centre? If the rumours are true of what's going on.
He should be back up.
Don't get me on that.
He should start.
We're talking about what the team was in pre-season. Like at the minute, he's backup centre.
Yeah.
Like how many clubs would have that? How many clubs would have like a? Oh, it's just mental to me. Like I just really think the world's yours this year. And I'm going to ask for one name for your. Actually, I'm going to ask for 2 names. I'm going to ask for a Man of Steel, which I'm going to spring on you. And do I do Young Player of the Year? I don't really know who qualifies, to be fair, so we'll just stick to Man of Steel.
I'll let you go.
Again, I'm going to go a second option, I think. So I'm going to go Lachlan Lamb.
Mm-hmm.
What
about you, Brian?
I said Lockie Miller. And the reason I said Lockie Miller is, I've said before, he does have that X factor about him. And if Leeds do well, it's going to be Lockie Miller standing up when Connor's not playing. But I will throw Alec Morg out there. But
if I was going with an outsider, so to speak, I'll go Toby Sexton.
Solid. Yeah, let's have an outsider as well. Go on, that'll be our second one.
Mine will be Alec Morg.
I'll go and I'll go Sexton.
And then I've gone Lockie Miller and what?
Okay. Well, my actual Man of Steel pick will probably be an outsider for some of yours, but my actual Man of Steel pick, I picked him last year. I'm picking him again, because I think this year he'll be a completely different player with that consistency we spoke about. If I'm backing Saints to win a treble, I've got to back a Saints player. I believe it will be Tristan Sailor. At the minute, 22-1. I think his speed, tries, and his assists will just tell it. And my backup is David Armstrong.
Yeah.
If he stays fit, I think he could. Because it's hard for a forward to win it.
Yeah, it is.
But it's a different panel this year. It's a panel of 5. So whether they're doing the point system or not, I don't know.
No, what they're doing is a third of the way through the season and having a look and making suggestions of who's been the best up to then. Then they're having another look to a bit later on in the season to do the same thing, and then the meeting to basically have a short list of players.
And there's a couple of forwards in that panel as well.
Well, let's put it this way: Morgan Knowles could have been in there last year.
It's a very Wigan Saints bias, this panel, anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So it's got to be a Wigan or Saints player.
And top 2 It's going to come.
Yeah, not looking beyond there.
Yeah, you're basically looking at French field, Welsh beach, Eastham's
Or to throw a forward in, but he Big Al or something. just because it's probably his final year, who knows?
Right.
But I think that's a pod, guys.
Brilliant, fantastic.
And it's been great to record with you. We will see how these predictions go as the season progresses. I'm sure we'll review these as it goes. But this has been the Super League Pom-cast, the first episode of the 2026 season. I've been Johnny, they've been Andy and Bri, and we will catch you next time. Peace.